listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network. Now the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Anger Management After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Anger Management After Show.
We're always laughing in the beginning.
Don't stop.
It's a good thing,
Hey, hey AfterBuzzers. Thanks for doing it. We are here doing another episode of Anger Management. This is Season 1, Episode 9, Charlie's Dad Visits.
Big night.
A big night.
Big night.
I'm your host, Anna Koppel, here with me, my lovely co-host.
I am Kaissi. Welcome. Hi, I'm Lauren Leonelli.
Hey everybody, I'm Derrial Christon.
And also in studio with us, we have a very special guest. We have Stephen Taylor. Hey, Stephen. He plays Wayne, and as I understand it, you moved out here from Texas 12 years ago with your best friend, Kevin Alejandro. Is that correct? Yes. Mm-hmm. And just have been living the dream ever since.
Living the dream ever since.
That's amazing.
Yeah, just trying to, not live on a floor, I
That's
guess.
That's awesome. That's a way to set some goals.
Right? Right? Hey, man, if you set them low, you can always get above them.
Right, yeah, those aspirations are. So Stephen's going to talk to us, give us his insight, and after we sort of discuss the episode, we'll talk all about Stephen. So,
excellent.
Awesome. So Martin Sheen shows up tonight.
Hello.
Hello.
That's a great intro.
I just, not to make this about me, but that was my prediction.
It was. You know what? I actually went back and I watched all of that you predicted that Season 1. You predicted that Martin Sheen would be
Episode 1.
Season 1, Episode 2, actually. You predicted that Martin Sheen would be on the show.
Boom.
So here it
Bam.
is.
Nice.
And it looks like he's going to be recurring.
Thanks. I'm a genius. I'm a genius. So let's get into that. Lauren, you want to start us off?
I liked how the buildup was sort of like, we've heard out throughout the season that Charlie has this not very good relationship with his father, and he's this strained relationship, and he's really nervous about him coming, and he opens the door and he just like hugs him. It was like such a nice way to just set him on in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And within the first scene, Charlie gets that validation that he wanted so much, the words, "and I'm proud of you."
Yeah.
So that really sort of...
It was something that he was looking for. There's something really poignant, and I actually mentioned, I talked about a lot how life imitates art a lot in this series. It did with Denise Richards as well when they had her on as a guest star, but there was actually something that was said when Martin Sheen was on the couch with Jen, his ex-wife, and he looks at him and he goes, "You took a bad situation and you made it work." And it was interesting because was he talking about the show or was he talking about his life? Because it kind of just moved in, Do
you think this is just cathartic for Charlie?
I do, absolutely, in more ways than one. And I also find it interesting that his name is Martin on the show.
When you ask if it's cathartic for Charlie, you mean Charlie the actor or Charlie the character?
Charlie the actor.
Okay. Yeah, no, I just want to
question.
no.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we all also talk about how they all have the same names basically as they do in real life. So it could be very cathartic to live out some of these real life imitating art stories on the show.
Yeah,
and everyone knows. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Everyone knows them, and their lives are so public.
Yeah.
It's not just like some other actors that you kind of know, but I mean, they're really in the public eye. It's sort of like, just don't ignore it. Let's talk about it,
This is actually one of the episodes I think I related to the most, just because of the fact that he did have Charlie on it, because you see how, whether it's on television or real life, art and imitating life, your parents, sometimes you have a different viewpoint on the way that you were raised versus what they felt.
Yeah.
And Charlie clearly stated that throughout the show, his perception of what Martin's raising, rules were and how Martin thought of it being one way and then Charlie thinking of it one way. And then in the end, you know, Charlie thinks he's crazy throughout the show because Martin comes and is like this transformed person.
Yeah.
And then in the end, it's revealed that actually Charlie was right, but, you know, Martin's just trying to change his life as he's getting older, which I think is realistic for probably a lot of parents and their kids.
I think that's also very interesting, seeing that Charlie realized that he wasn't crazy, but also seeing how manipulative his father can be sets the tone for maybe how Charlie got into this, and maybe this is why he had anger problems growing up, and you know, he was just trying to live up to his father, who's also just he can play mind games, which Charlie can also do. So this is where he gets it from, you know,
manipulation.
This is Papa Bear.
But that's also infuriating when you know you're right and you see the truth and somebody's telling you that it's the opposite of that. To feel like you're crazy all the time is infuriating, and of course that's where anger comes from.
Yes.
So that would be a common reaction for sure. And he played the frustration and the anger really well. I thought he was like, "Arr!" And when he let the anger come out in the scene with, I know we'll talk about Lacey too, but he snapped. Just thinking about his dad. His frustration was right on top the whole time. It was good.
Trigger. Yeah, absolutely.
He did that earlier with Ed several episodes ago. He snapped on him.
Yeah.
And he did say something tonight that you guys have been wanting for a couple weeks. Martin told Charlie that he should get back with Jen. And I know that Dua and LL over here were very happy about that.
Lauren
practically... Oh, you wanted it to? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, but Lauren practically jumped out of her chair. I was wondering if it was a foreshadowing, and Lauren was like, I hope.
I'm just saying.
When
you know, you know.
They're right for each other.
Sorry.
Stephen laughed.
I just see all, it's like they're right for each other. That's it, which is true. I mean, it looks like they are, so.
Right.
They do. I mean, and they even stated like they have a better relationship, or Martin said, you guys have a better relationship now. You seem happier now than you were when you're together, but maybe that's laying the foundation for them to now be able to learn how to be with each other.
Right.
And more functional, happy.
Kind of start from scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
And we'll see.
I know, we will see.
So this is sort of a side note, but did anybody notice that there were a lot of blue shirts?
I did not notice that.
Anna pointed that out. I wouldn't have noticed, but they really all were wearing blue. Like the entire, I know blue looks good on camera. Like they say wear blue to auditions and blue is a good color, but
to have everybody wearing blue in the same scene seems like it's...
Symbolism?
Yeah.
What do you think that meant, Anna?
I'm not sure.
I want to go Google it now and see if there's somebody's favorite color.
I'm gonna Bing it. I'm gonna Bing search.
Oh, that's
Bing
a good
search or call in if you think you know.
Or-
Call
that's
in
right.
and just say, hey, I think this is why.
Yeah, that would be great if you guys would rate and comment on iTunes. You want to give a little comment about why you think the shirts are blue. I just want to thank everybody for rating and commenting. It's been awesome to see our ratings just grow and grow, and we appreciate that. So
Keep doing it.
Keep
we like
doing
to
it.
read it.
Do it.
tell
Do
a
it.
friend.
I have a theory as to why the shirts were blue. They weren't blue the entire episode, though. Just in the beginning.
Well, and it was intermittent.
There were stripes at the end, but they had blue stripes.
But they were blue.
They were blue.
It was a touch of blue. What's
Yeah, it
your
was a touch of
theory?
blue. What's
Well,
your theory?
I thought that blue maybe represented when Charlie was angry or when something was like and then towards the end, the resolution. Okay, what's up with Charlie wearing these gray shirts in bed with Kate? I'm sorry.
That was a nice safe way. I was really feeling your blue theory.
I get the blue theory, but we did talk about this.
The gray at the end, because he was wearing a gray shirt at the end, and when he was talking to Kate, and Kate is in like a gorgeous negligee, and he's wearing it looks like a gray shirt.
You even said, wasn't you, Dua? Like, look what he's wearing. Look what she's wearing.
Yeah,
I think
it's-
Charlie's still working on his abs.
Yeah, but
That's what I think.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know. That's what I think.
Yeah,
She does. She
You know.
always looks pretty good and sexy. Like
Yes,
she's in a
right.
little bra and underwear and like the negligee, and he's just in a dumpy old t-shirt covered up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not there yet, because it would look weird if all of a sudden he's naked and there's a little bit of cheddar there, and then she's got a six pack. You know.
But
Right.
they did show him in the shower last episode.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
But he was all lathered up. I remember I said nice shaving cream because it was clearly like shaving cream all over. But he was all lathered up.
He was lathered up.
So he's probably looking a little schlubby and not feeling so great about himself. And
Well,
but
that's
all right.
that could be why.
That's fine.
That's my theory on it.
Hey,
I
do you
would love
think?
him anyway.
I think next to her, I mean,
Yeah.
I'd wear a gray shirt too.
right.
I'd wear a jacket if I could next to
She
her.
looks good. I stand by
Ridiculous.
that. She looks
She's
good,
like
right?
a 10-month-old, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's 40.
She's ridiculous.
Yeah, she
She's
looks good.
gorgeous.
I know. I agree, Stephen.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know it was just slightly off topic, but going with the gray in bed, it was.
I don't know why they do that.
For a loop.
So Charlie tried to help Lacey
Yeah.
Yeah.
with her road rage.
Yep.
That kind of backfired.
Yeah.
It was untimely
Right.
because he had his own issues sort of at the surface.
Yeah.
Comments?
Yeah.
Anybody? Dying here.
I thought it was funny personally because of the fact that he's trying to help her out with all these issues, and then it comes to find out, which we didn't know, that he was the one who's so crazy and neurotic in the car. And then the fact later on that he was so neurotic that he ended up not being the person who was her side person in the car, and it became Ed, and then Ed leaves her.
This is interesting to me because I feel like maybe it doesn't have road rage, but what was really bothering him at heart was this issue with his dad, and it manifested itself in road rage.
Oh, absolutely.
However, with all the other characters, and this is why we can talk about Charlie forever, because we're emotionally attached to him. He's the main character. He always has a main story in the show. So of course we all, the viewers, like him and know him and feel like we are connected. But Lacey and the other kids in the group, the therapy group, and even like the prisoners and stuff, we don't have that insight on where the anger is coming from and then how it's manifesting itself. So we just know that Lacey's has road rage, but what is it that really makes her angry? Like, we know what makes Charlie angry and how it comes out.
Yeah.
So that's interesting to me, but how we still don't really know, do we?
So you feel like that's missing from,
Yeah,
and you want that.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of know that Patrick has an issue with his mom, and Ed's got the post-traumatic stress syndrome. I feel like with Nolan and Lacey, we don't really know.
Lacey just seems like an angry little rich spoiled
It's like
brat.
snobby, maybe, yeah, but it's hard to connect to that. Like, it doesn't feel like...
Agreed.
You know what I
I'm
mean?
not connecting to her
Yeah.
at all.
But I think tonight was the writer's way of having us get more connected to her and reveal, because in the last several weeks she hasn't really been the predominant storyline outside of a couple weeks ago when it was with Nolan. But she has not really been the focus as far as outside of a couple lines here and there. So it was nice to sort of see her character develop more, and we got to see a little bit more insight on who she was.
I agree.
We still haven't covered all the ground of what her anger issues are, but we know that we clearly know she's
And
angry.
I thought she was really funny. I'm not saying
Yeah.
I liked watching her. Everything she did was great and funny, and I always think she's funny, but I'm just saying I don't know where her anger comes from, but she was hilarious.
Yeah.
yeah.
They tend to do characters 1 week at a time now.
Yeah.
And I think it would... Not to compare shows, but I'm going to compare shows. What made
Not to do it, but I'm gonna.
I'm gonna. What made Friends, and I think Friends is probably the best sitcom ever.
I agree.
They talked about every character in every episode. There was always like an ABC story. So that made the show great. And I think if every character was involved in every episode, it would really build the show. It would give it more.
I agree to that.
But the thing is, that show was an ensemble cast. This show is not an ensemble cast. I feel like this show, Charlie is very clearly the star. And I feel like with what happened with Lacey today, it wasn't actually about Lacey at all. I don't feel like, I disagree with you, Drew. I don't feel like I got to know Lacey at all. I felt like Lacey's issue was just a catalyst for you to get Charlie's trigger in the car.
That's true.
That's
Okay.
But all those characters, I think, like structurally, that's sort of what they do in this sort of writing structure. They push along the main character. When it's not an ensemble cast, they don't have to intertwine, but they're all there to help the arc of the main character, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like that's kind of what they're doing with the when you show Patrick and Ed and the one where he gets upset about his neighbors and things like that. Like it seems like they're moving on to doing scenes with those people to push along stories. With Charlie, like the daughter who's in the room reading the book, and it kind of pushed along. Him and his ex-wife and stuff like that. It just seems like they're really kind of pushing it along. But it seems what's interesting really quickly in the car when Charlie and Lacey were in there, it seems like when one's really angry, the other one's really calm.
That's true.
And then when Lacey's really angry, Ed's really calm.
Yeah,
And it just seemed like you could see the two. Like maybe it's sort of like what Charlie was trying to do is get two people together, because at least it helps one to calm the other down.
Yeah.
Right.
Kind of go back and
Play
forth.
off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Well
That's
done.
a good observation. That definitely is true. Somebody's always much more angry than the other. Yeah, somebody has to play that role of like, hold on,
Yeah.
because otherwise it would be
Just two people
Chaos.
yelling at each
chaotic.
Yeah.
other. Yeah.
Yeah. Good point.
See, we're happy you're here, Steven.
There you
to
go.
answer those questions.
All right.
Actors inside everyone.
Does Wayne have a backstory?
Apparently, I've killed a lot of people. I don't think there's going to be me in a car anytime soon, unless I break out and run. I mean, a lot of it is just I made a lot of poor choices.
Sure.
You know, killing my
We all
best
do.
friend and his girlfriend, who was my girlfriend at the time.
Yikes.
So that's pretty much it. Just a lot of killing.
A lot of killing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, there's
normal.
There's no blue in the episodes where I'm in.
Yeah, just orange.
All orange.
Just all orange.
So we get
If I'm wearing blue, there's a problem.
There's an issue.
right.
the orange and then the pink prison chairs, aren't they pink? Did we not talk about that one
The
time?
pink walls.
Oh, the pink
Oh, the
walls.
The pink walls. Yes.
That's something I knew. Yeah,
That was something I think when we all walked in, we were like, and it's pink.
Why is that?
I guess
Pink
it's
is calming.
just trying to calm us down, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not
Cheery
sure.
and bright.
Yeah.
Is pink a calming color? Is that considered a calming color?
I would say so. More so than
Is that a
bright
is
orange.
that a normal prison color? Call in and tell us. Never been in.
Are you
wouldn't
watching
know.
in prison? Do you have access to a computer? We'll take prison fans. You know, we're open to that.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Hey. Anyway, so speaking of inappropriate relationships, I'm working on segues, guys. I'm
I like
working
this.
on segues.
That was
Yeah,
nice.
That was
So,
good.
so Charlie and Kate seem to be their relationship seems to be evolving.
That was a great segue.
That was.
Thanks, guys. Applause.
Very good.
So their relationship seems to be evolving.
Yeah.
And I think you pointed out that
It was, yeah, because towards the beginning of the season, it was just like they were there to have sex with each other. And then when I was watching this, there were two scenes where they were together, the beginning and at the end, and it almost seemed more like a relationship because he was getting his shoulders massaged and he was actually talking about his father in both scenes about the first scene how his father was really upsetting him, and the second scene like everything about his father. It's like this isn't somebody that you're just fooling around with on a Friday and Saturday night. Like this is somebody that you're developing a relationship with, and even though there's certain parameters, it's like I definitely think that it's becoming something big. I think that will have to be addressed at some point.
definitely. And he's talked about his father issues before. And there was a time when it was 2 or 3 episodes ago where he was talking about his father, and she was like, press this button 3 times. And he was still trying to talk about his issues, and she was
In sex mode.
in sex mode and in enjoying herself, and and
Very PC.
and she was like, I can multitask, and then she was like, oh, okay, I can't multitask, and he kind of said, do I even have to be here for this? So it was very sexual and business,
Yeah.
and so now there's definitely, it's becoming a little bit deeper, and that's going to get complicated.
Of course.
See,
Always does.
I'm going to disagree with you guys. I'm going to say that the relationship is what it is, and they both know what it is, and they both know it's sex. And I don't think that there's going to be a lot more of attachment to it.
Well, I felt like there was always like when he was talking, first of all, from the beginning, I thought that this was a bad idea to have your therapist be the person that you're sleeping with.
I mean, dude.
But they're not therapists to each other anymore.
Yes, they are. He
Well,
he sat down with his dad.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like he goes in when he needs to. Is it like a regular thing?
Yeah, I think that he sees her on the regular.
Okay.
And that's why it's like he's seeing her, and so if that conversation that he was having with his dad was on the couch and not on the bed with her massaging his shoulders, that would be different. But I feel like the two worlds are kind of like.
So she's his therapist, they're best friends, and they're sex buddies. It doesn't work. It's too complicated.
It wouldn't work in real life.
work.
One of
No.
those things would be a problem. But I don't know. I mean, I kind of agree with you. Like, I don't think it's going to be a problem. And they could turn it into a problem if
Right.
they wanted to, but they could also not pay any attention to it. And they sort of established why that might be a problem in the first like episode or two. Like, oh, she was like, we can't do this because I'm your therapist, and he kind of didn't care, and then they sort of just blew it over. But
If the board of psychology found out about Kate doing this, she definitely would lose her license. There's just no way that that's appropriate.
I don't know. I just don't think it's that big of a deal.
Now, what
I'm
I
not
will
saying I've ever slept with my therapist, but I'm just saying,
It was therapeutic,
yeah.
Now,
work
I
out.
will say we talked about this too a little bit. Is that you guys have said that you haven't necessarily loved that character for Selma.
Whoa, wait a minute. You weren't here last episode, were you?
I
I
was not.
crossed over.
She did cross over to my side.
And then let me
She did.
explain something to you. I know. Let me explain something to you. So there has been a very, very definite we love Kate, we hate Kate camp. There are two separate camps here. Me and Anna were strictly on the we hate Kate camp, and they were on the we love Kate camp. I crossed over, and the reason that I crossed over was because last episode, she wasn't really in the episode, and I missed her. So even though I don't like her as a character, I feel like she is necessary to the show, and it's not really my job to like her or dislike her, but I feel like she is essential for the show.
I'm a lone wolf.
You're a lone wolf. And to add to that, they gave her more tonight, as we were talking about, because she was the therapist for Charlie and his dad. So we saw a different side of her that was beyond just the sexual side, even though she gave us sex at the end. But we get a little bit more of, oh, that's right, she is his therapist. Or, so we saw that again tonight versus just being the sexual object or monster that she is
And
on
I
the
think
show.
she is able to monster.
Hey, I like her being the sex monster. Trust me.
Hey, a guy
That's
does
why-
it and it's okay. And she's
No,
a
I'm saying that's why I'm like Team Kate.
I am too.
I like her.
That's right. But I think that she is still, the reason why I don't feel like it's going to be a problem is because I feel like she is able to separate it. Like she sat in the room and had a very professional therapy session with them. It's not like she's not being like the typical woman that's like, oh, but my emotions are getting involved and I'm confused and I'm your therapist. Like she's just like, whatever, it's fine. So if she can compartmentalize like she's doing, I think it totally works.
But it's not realistic. It's just not. It's not realistic.
Yeah, I can agree that. I mean, just trying to have friends with benefits is a hard thing to. So all of those other things getting in the way could definitely complicate it. But yeah, I mean,
but it's also a TV show. It's
there's
not-
also
it's-
things
it's not
about the
realistic.
TV show that are not real. I mean, a lot of people would look at his relationship with Jen and say that's not realistic. But my parents have a relationship like that, and they're not together. So maybe not common, but it happens.
Steven, you look like you were going to say something on
No,
that.
I just, I mean, do you not like Kate because you want him to get back with his ex-wife, and so you're like,
She's a terrible therapist.
yeah, well, yes,
She's
of
a
course,
terrible
obviously she's sleeping
person.
with her patient,
Right.
which we've established is not good.
Right.
She has a general unlikability. She's very antagonistic, and she doesn't really like the daughter. We've talked about that before.
Yeah, they don't
which is
seem
a
to interact.
which is a huge problem.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
And I think if she really cared for Charlie, like she claims to, that she would care about the daughter. And she just doesn't care at all. And that doesn't seem realistic for a therapist. A therapist should be compassionate.
No,
She's not.
Them all.
I don't know if all of them are. Yeah, I'm gonna go with you on that one. I don't know if they all are.
So, and that's fine, but that I don't like that in a therapist.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I don't like her. I don't like her.
I think she's
One
great.
fourth of the team
There
now.
you
We're
go.
down to one
We
fourth
have
of the
one
team.
more episode to get Anna on our
on their
side.
side.
It's
We slowly pulled
gonna
you
happen.
over, slowly.
So I think I'm done discussing the episode. I'd love to start talking to Steven. If
Yeah.
anybody has anything else to say on the episode, then
I'm anxious to start talking to Steven.
I want to talk to
Steven.
Steven.
too.
Yeah.
Steven's the man.
Let's make it all about you. No. So, Steven,
Yes,
you came out here
yes, 12 years ago.
12 years ago. Tell us about Canoga Park.
So, my buddy and I moved out here. We're from a small town. We lived in Austin, Texas, went to college at UT, and then we decided to move to LA. Our friend was like, we got a couch for a couple of weeks, and we are like, great. So we drove all night long. I've never really been out of Texas, maybe to like, Louisiana once or twice, and drove all the way out here. And middle of the night, we're exhausted, 19-hour drive. There's palm trees. We're like, oh my God, we've got to be like a block from the beach. This has got to be gorgeous. I mean, you could smell the ocean. This is amazing. And the next morning we woke up and we were in Canoga Park on Sherman
Not
Way.
even close.
And we walk out and we go, where's the beach? And everyone's just kind of, literally in swimming trunks. Where's the beach? And they were like, oh, you have to drive there. It's quite a distance. We're like, oh, it's great. And then that first night, the helicopters and the whatnots in
Yeah.
Canoga Park. It was quite interesting.
Did
Nice.
What about the helicopters?
There was a high speed chase that night that went right in front of our apartment complex.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Now, were there coyotes? Because I know you're a coyote hunter.
Oh, geez.
You
looked at
took my
ears.
question.
No.
I saw that. I'm sorry.
What
I'm sorry,
is that?
Elle.
We have to
I'm sorry,
ask
Lauren.
that.
But I saw that and I was like, I got to bring it up.
It's oh my God, this is embarrassing.
Please
I'm gonna make
explain.
a lot of people upset with this. In West Texas, when there's a lot of cattle farmers, there's a lot of coyotes that run around. Yes, I say coyotes, not coyotes.
I love it.
I like
I just
that.
say coyotes.
I like
love
that.
it.
And you have to get rid of them in order so that they don't kill the cattle
Yeah.
or
Sure.
kill livestock or stuff. So I did that once or twice to to help out farmers nearby. And
Wow, my.
Hey.
I'm
Yeah.
totally on your team.
You're helping the environment.
My dog was completely attacked by a pack of coyotes and survived, and so you're my hero right now.
It's I
You're
gotta
my
tell you,
hero.
we lost many animals to
It's a huge
coyotes.
problem in
It's-
Colorado
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
We would like cats and everything. The
Yeah,
they're vicious.
They are.
They're
I'm on your-
very
on your
vicious.
side on that one.
It's not one of those things that I mean. I wasn't obviously killing for sport. It's not like I just
Right,
grabbed
right.
a gun
Yeah.
and went out and just. But it was just protecting the livestock. That
Well,
was
did you
around.
like?
Yeah, we're gonna get calls from PETA, you guys, but go
Sorry,
ahead.
sorry, Peter. We love everybody still.
That's-
Peter.
They were
Sorry.
all injured before I got there.
Did
I'm just kidding.
you like run around with like a bow and arrow or like a
With face
stake or
paint.
like with okay?
It's like Hunger Games with no.
And every time a coyote dies, you hear a gong in the back.
You do, and his picture goes up. No, it was very. It's a strategic thing. You
Yeah.
have to learn how like what they follow and things. It's like you build a campfire and you sit 100 feet away and wait.
You have to think like a coyote.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they don't. This is so
This is-
wrong. you just can't. I mean, you have to kind of figure out what they do in order to
Yeah.
get rid of them. And it's not
Yeah.
like you go out and just slaughter 50 coyotes. I mean, you only have to take care of one, and they all
Yeah.
pretty much leave the territory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they do that. They're tricky too because they'll like call.
They'll
the
call their
animals.
others.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've
they
actually
sing,
witnessed it.
Yeah.
Yes, they're
pretty bad.
what are they called? Sirens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sirens of the hills.
Yeah.
Wow.
That could be a
Well,
new movie.
They're
Sirens of the Hills.
Let's get on to a happier topic.
Yes,
So,
please.
so Stephen, I IMDb'd you, and you have just like this laundry list of parts, and small parts and big parts.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you enjoy more? Do you want to talk about?
I really dig the small parts. I love getting into where there's a scene that there's actors that have been there for a really long time or main people of movies, and then just interject a line or two that makes them laugh.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's like most of the stuff that I do is comedy, even in like really serious movies like Water Elephants, Transformers. It's kind of a serious action movies and things like that, and I just kind of come in there and shovel in horse poop, or I do something that's funny, and
Yeah.
I love doing those little tiny. It's minimal, I'm not gonna say minimal effort because I love to put the effort into acting, but it's minimal. You jump in,
Yeah.
you say a line or two,
The comic relief that like
Yeah.
hits
Yeah.
the spot.
and if it and I've been lucky, it's all been really good writing. So
Yeah.
it's not like I have to do anything. I just go in and say the line. It's
Exactly.
like
you have
just-
been lucky. You have a lot of great stuff.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's I've got a lot of directors who've taken a lot of chances with me, and I really appreciate that they brought me on. And I love to just go in and do the little parts and just be like be in the movie theater like here comes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait for
And
it.
there it
Boom,
was.
yeah.
Oh, you coughed. Now we have to rent it on
Oh,
DVD.
come on. What do you like? You have a lot of movie credits. You have a lot of TV credits too. That's very different process, obviously. What do you like? I mean, they're like as we said, different. But what do you like better? Do you have a preference?
I love half-hour comedy, and it's odd because this Anger Management is my first. I haven't done any
Really?
half-hour comedy
That's
before
right.
this.
You
It's
have
all-
drama.
All drama,
All
all
drama.
1 hour, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Always been comic release on most of them, or a killer.
Right.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And
Typecasting?
Yeah. Why is that?
you didn't
the
ask
coyotes.
me if
We'll
there was
be
pink
leaving
prison
now.
walls.
The coyotes.
But I really enjoy half hour because it's quick, it's fun, and everyone's having a good time. I don't know how it is on multiple sets, but at least this one, it was you come in, you say a line, people are laughing. You try not to laugh in the middle of the scene.
That's the
It's
best.
just-
Yeah.
It's really great because you get that energy with someone like Darius who sits across from me in the scenes, and I'll say something funny, or he'll say something funny. We can't look at each other. We'll have to look right past each other because I can't look at him because I'll start laughing.
Yeah.
And I started doing that with Charlie. It's like
I
you have
was
to
gonna
look
say-
past. Like I can't look at him because I'm going to start
So
laughing.
Charlie gets in on that.
Oh, he does. He doesn't necessarily break character a lot, but you can see him when he's looking at you and thinking it's funny, and he'll laugh after the take. So if you do a second take, you're like, I know he thinks this is funny, and I hope he doesn't laugh or make a face at me or something. And he's so funny, and just
Yeah.
looking at him.
Yeah.
And
Right.
everyone else is too. They make a face, and you just crack up.
You're
So,
done. Yeah. Do you get to improv a little with
Um,
that? I mean, you don't.
Not really. I mean, I don't. The first couple episodes, I was so terrified because, like I said, I hadn't done a half hour before, so I just stuck to the script specifically.
Yeah.
But I think you get to kind of play a lot with your reactions and your movements and things like that. That is like improving in the scene.
Yes.
Like a lot of the pauses you give and things like that. I think that's the improv. I think is the best because the lines are there for you and it's written really well. So you just kind of improv everything else.
Yeah.
And say the lines. I think that
Makes it your own.
Yeah.
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 I like that.
So coming from True Blood, where you were prisoner Jimmy,
Been
to
so many prisoners.
prisoner Wayne, did that help you prepare, like playing prisoner Jimmy to prisoner Wayne?
It kind of did. Two different
different worlds.
Two different worlds. But
Sort of.
yeah, it was the completely opposite, and it was like the True Blood scene was just off the wall. I mean, it's so out there to be hanging from a meat hook, to about to be killed by vampires. It's really to be sitting in an orange jumpsuit in a pink room with Charlie.
It's quite a
It's quite a different thing. But it did. Like I said, it's a comedy thing. I say something funny on the True Blood thing, it makes everyone laugh, and then it's like, okay, I'm done. Get me down from the hook. You know, it's like I don't need to keep going because I ramble apparently.
So how does anger management differ from everything else you've done?
It's the vibe on it is so light. Everyone there is so proud of what they're doing. I feel like, you know, you're talking about Martin coming on the show. I feel like Charlie, even Charlie in real life, is like, this is the show that I'm doing. Like, this is he wants to show him around and what's going on. You know, you can kind of tell, like, this is the show that I've done. I'm proud of it. Be a part of it. And everyone else on the show is so proud of what they're doing. Just every single person there was like, yeah, you know, this is so great, and you're so great out there, and oh, this is so great. The crafty is so good, and oh, the trailers are so clean, and like everyone's just like so happy to be there.
That's
and
great.
You know, I've been on shows before where it's been a long time, and they've been on air for God knows how many seasons, 10, 12 seasons. And not that everyone is bitter, but they're just like, I've done this. So they have a routine. They kind of get into it. These guys are just so excited. So it's like when you get there, the energy is immediately.
What was your first table read like?
Oh, goodness. Well, my wife was pregnant. She was 9 months pregnant. And I got the show, and we were really excited. And she was due on Tuesday. And Wednesday morning, they were having a table read.
Oh, man.
And she hadn't gone into labor yet. And then Wednesday morning, she kind of started feeling a little bit. And I was like, I'm first kid. I'm super nervous. And I was like, I don't have to go to this table read. I really don't have to go to it. She was like, no, go. You'll hate yourself. This is not real labor. And I was like, okay. So the whole way there, I'm calling her and texting her, and then I get to the show, and I'm walking in. I'm already nervous because there's 60 people there, you know, and Charlie Sheen and all these other people. I'm like, oh my God. And I walk. The producer comes up, and he was like, hey, how you doing? And I was like, hey, you know, sorry, my phone's gonna be on. My wife might be in labor, so if you see me get up and leave, I'll say bye. And he goes like, don't say bye, just go. So the whole time I have my phone like right here, and everyone I guess thought I was kind of rude. You could see everyone's putting their phone up and turn it off, and I'm like.
Yeah.
Huh? And
oh, it's my line. That's my line.
I killed him both. Yes. Are we done? I think she's in labor. No, but and it ended up she wasn't in labor that morning, but that night she went into labor.
Oh, wow.
Well, in the morning. So we had, and I guess 12 hours later, 24 hours later, exactly from the table read, I had a son. So
you were able to make it.
I was able to make it. I was there the whole time. I drove her to the hospital and everything. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it was.
And that'll be a great story for your kid one day.
It will.
Yeah.
It will.
And he's 5 months today. Is that right?
5 months today.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. That's great.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Even you get some applause.
I like it.
So you work with obviously legendary actors like Martin Sheen. Who were some of the people that inspired you to become an actor?
Wow, I got to tell you, you know, growing up, I didn't watch much television. My parents are huge Star Trek fans.
Oh, cool.
So I watched a lot of Star Trek. A lot of Star Trek. I know The Next Generation like the back of my hand. But I think watching those shows, and I did a lot of plays. You know, I really got into theater in high school, and my high school teacher really kind of pushed that. And I feel like before I came out to LA, I didn't really have celebrities that were my, you know, icons. It was more of like the people that I saw around me that were following every dream that they wanted to do. People who left, you know, high school, went on to be lawyers. I mean, I'm from a small town, and these people are lawyers in New York. And I was like, oh, I've got to follow my dream, you know?
Yeah.
And plus, acting seemed easy at the time. It's not. But it's just and then once I got out here, I mean, there's a lot of people like Ben Foster was a huge
I love
fan of him.
Yeah.
That's great.
Ryan Gosling, I'm a huge
Amazing.
fan of Ryan Gosling, and
He's
fan of his
ugly.
abs.
He's ugly.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, but he took his shirt off in that movie, and I went,
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
impressive.
you see those?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
May I touch them?
Yeah. I didn't say that, but
Well, I would.
but yeah, it's people like that. Steve Buscemi, a lot of people.
Oh,
like,
Steve's great.
Yeah, just
Great character actor, as you are.
Love character. Thank you. I love character actors and people who come in with the weirdest little stuff. Bill Murray, things like that.
Yeah.
They come up with these weird things that you wouldn't expect, and I always think, what did they do in the audition? Like, not that they have to
They're just
audition
them.
now, but
Yeah.
if they come in and, like, you know...
How are they prepared?
What
Yeah.
set them apart
Yeah.
from everybody? You
Right,
know?
it's like Giovanni Ribisi plays a lot of the same characters, and I'm wondering, his first audition, was he that weird?
Yeah.
I bet he was.
Yeah, I
I'm
bet he
sure.
was.
He had this. He was on The Negotiator. He had this little kind of small bit role on The Negotiator, and he was so like he kind of just stole every scene that he was in. And it is what is it in that what is it in that read that just gets them?
Yeah, it just sets him apart.
Well,
so.
I think it's like, what about you as Steven comes out in every character, although they can be on all ends of the spectrum. There's something about you that comes out in every character you play, and people like watching that. But what do you know? Can you identify that?
You know, I really don't. I feel like a lot of the characters up to Wayne were very skittish and nervous.
And are you skittish and nervous?
Yes.
See?
I mean, I'm from a very calm family. My dad, Wayne on the show, is my dad. I mean, his persona and the way he just sits there and answers everything real calm. That's how my dad is.
Right.
Of course, you can't understand my dad because his accent's really thick.
Yeah.
But it's that very calm. So I kind of went a different direction with him. But everyone else is very like, you know, weirdly, you know, nervous as
Yeah.
I am.
Can we hear an impression of your father?
Oh, goodness. Well, yes. I love you, Dad.
No pressure.
No pressure. Now you sit down and he talk to you like this. And you really can't understand it because he doesn't move his lips. And he's like, son, let me tell you a little bit about your mom. And, you're like, and my friends didn't understand him for a really long time, but he's very smart. So he may have a really thick accent, but everything he says is very poignant and very
I love that.
intelligent.
Yeah.
And he reads Consumer Reports, and he's a techie.
Oh,
you know,
man.
he's like very.
He knows what's going on.
He
He's
does, and it's weird because he talks like this, and he'd be like, "Son, that computer you got 400 gigabytes in that thing." I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Oh my God, I want to meet
Now, does
him.
he watch
Yeah.
your episodes and then comments back to you, like leaves you messages or
No,
comments?
he doesn't, because until now, because he'll see this, that he didn't know that I based it on him, like his calmness. And when I went to the audition, that was the only thing that I had. I was like, I'm just gonna be my dad. I talked to him on the phone like an hour ago, so I was just like, all right.
How about
so I just go in
that?
there and I kind of did that, and I was like, well, that kind of worked.
That's amazing.
We need your
So-
dad in here for an interview, I think.
That's
Jenny's
awesome.
Oh,
dad.
you'd love him. I don't know.
Well,
What's your dad's
the
name?
next time.
His name is Pete.
Hey, Pete.
Hey, Pete.
What's up, Pete?
We
Pete.
love ya. Please come in for an interview the next time you're in LA. So
He'll probably do it. He'll talk the whole time.
I would love it. So yeah.
Just give him a mic and a camera. and
We'll
he'll-
keep in touch.
There you go.
We'll
We
get
have
Pete in here. So I understand you're working on a comic book. Is that?
I am. It's my first comic book. I kind of got into the world when I was a kid and then got away from it for a really long time. And now I really got caught up. I did a web series and went to a comic book convention to do a panel, and I was blown away. I didn't want to leave. I was just walking around like, these people are so talented in the writing and the artists. And so I kind of came up with a web series that I wanted to do, and people told me I should do a comic book to kind of be a prequel to it. So it's about me and a guy, and like we're partners and like special ops type partners, and it's about superheroes and how they're real in the world, and we're like black ops people trying to go and do our normal stuff, but we run into these superheroes. I don't want to give too much away because it's not out. But the guy, it's me and my buddy, and the whole comedy is him and I in real life are like that. We joke around and we have these weird little, comedy moments. And so and the comic book is basically about us trying to survive this world of superheroes. And
That's
it's
cool.
turned into a
Very
web
cool.
series.
Great
and
idea.
Stuff like
Very
that.
cool.
So just to clarify, I'm sorry. So it is a comic book now. It will be a web series,
It's a comic book now. It's being written and published now as a comic book, and then we're going to do 4 issues of the comic book, and then it's going to be a web series,
Interesting.
starting from when the comic book ends.
So that
When-
prequel story is written in the comic book, and the series starts after the
yes,
last story.
This theory start. We get recruited by an agency, and the whole first 4 issues are talking about us leading up to that point and why we'd be recruited, and then we get the end of the 4th episode is when we get recruited.
I love
and then it
that.
starts with us sitting in the recruitment office.
Oh, that's
pretty
great.
cool.
When
That's great.
will this be available?
Well, the comic book hopefully by the end of the year, the first issue, and then the web series we're going to try to shoot at the beginning of next year. We're going to take a week and shoot out as much as we can.
Wow.
Because Kevin, my friend Kevin, is a producer on it, and he's in New
Isn't
York.
that the guy that you moved out here with?
Yes. Yeah.
So you're doing this with the guy that you moved out here with?
We're still
10
best
years?
friends.
That's
a great story.
I'm his. He's the
Awesome.
godfather of my son. I'm the godfather of
Aw.
his. He's
Oh,
like
that's great.
we're best friends.
That's a
still,
great
so.
story.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Where can we find your comic book and your web series?
You will find it on the keepers.tv. Right now, nothing's up there now, and the comic book it'll be released. It'll be tweeted out. Mad tweet on figuring out. I'm just getting it a tweet. I don't know if mad tweet is cool, but mad
Awesome.
tweet
It works.
Oh,
Right?
That's awesome.
So it'll be out by the end of the year. So
Great.
And what is your Twitter if people want to follow you?
S Monroe Taylor at S Monroe Taylor.
Awesome, Stephen. Thank you so much for joining us
course,
this
thank
evening.
you.
It was really a pleasure.
Thank you for having
You were
me.
delightful.
Yes.
Thank you.
So much fun.
Let's do some quick news and gossip and
Actually, ooh.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Well, it's just going to be really quick, guys. Really, really quick. I just, from the beginning, this is all I have to say. From the beginning, I knew this was going to happen. Charlie Sheen is back on Twitter. Yay!
Yes.
And do you remember when he was on when he was on Jay Leno and he said that he quit his Twitter account and
Yeah.
Jay Leno asked him about it and you know what his response was? Well, I have 30 days to reinstate it. That's what he said.
Right.
It's 30 days to the day he reinstated it.
Nice.
So I just think it was a big
He
marketing.
couldn't let go.
I knew he would be back.
Wouldn't. And then Noreen DeWolf, who also plays Lacey, I believe she's having her first year wedding anniversary soon. September 3rd, last year, 2011, she got married to Buffalo Sabres goaltender Ryan Miller. So congratulations.
Congrats to them. That's exciting.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. I wanted to spend time with Steven. So
absolutely.
That's
Well,
why.
fantastic. Let's do some quick predictions. Stephen, would you like to
your AfterBuzz
predict
TV.
what might happen?
I don't know. I'm gonna listen to you guys.
All
first.
right.
Jump in if you want.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, I am going to predict, and we all sort of talked about it, so it might not be like a crazy prediction, but that I think Martin Sheen's going to have a reoccurring story character in that's sign language for reoccurring role in the series, and if they they get up that 90. What was it? A 90 episode.
They're not going to make an announcement until the last episode, but I'm pretty sure it's going to happen.
I think we're going to see a lot more of him. Is my prediction.
I agree.
Derrial.
I'm going to say that Kate and Charlie are going to have a big argument that's going to separate their relationship for a while.
Ooh, that's interesting.
That's what I say.
Interesting.
I predict that Emilio Estevez is going to hop on the bandwagon and come in, and they're just going to have the whole family on the show, and it's going to be like
Family affair.
Yeah.
I'm with the two of you. I think Martin Sheen is here to stay, and I think that the relationship with Lacey with Kate is going to get more complicated. Any predictions?
I feel like Kate and Jen are gonna be friends.
Oh,
that's a good one.
I think
We've
they're
never
gonna-
thought about it.
I think they're gonna end up kind of being friends, and then maybe even an episode of having those two be like
Sleep
Char-
together?
No, no.
Whoa!
And then that comes on after.
then
No,
they'll-
Season 2.
Charlie being like, "Why are they together?" Like
Yeah.
you know,
Makes
just
him
to get
nervous.
that
Yeah.
whole, that
Yeah.
whole nervous.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then
That's a good prediction.
That is good.
Well, Stephen, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you, AfterBuzzers, for joining us. Where can we find everybody?
You can find me on Twitter at Lauren Leonelli and on Facebook under Lauren Leonelli. And also you can follow me on Instagram under the same name.
You can find me at Derrial Christon on Twitter, also under the same name on Facebook.
I'm Dua Kaissi. You can follow me on Twitter, DuaKaissi, or on Facebook.
At S Monroe Taylor or Facebook Stephen Taylor.
Fantastic. And I'm Anna Koppel. You can follow me at Koppel for Mayor, KOPPELFORMAYOR. You can also find me here on Tuesday nights, 8 p.m., buzzing about the Real Housewives of New York. And don't forget to follow Steven's comic book at thekeepers.tv. That should be out
Beginning of the year, end of this year.
beginning of the year, end of this year. So thanks again. Have a lovely evening, guys.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.